Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Something Saturday where we just talk about things we didn't get to talk about the rest of the week, and we have a lot to talk about, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so first up we have to talk about a little bit of Disney news. I know it's strange, but this is wild. So first off, we have to talk about Disney investing $1.5 billion into Fortnite and Epic Games. Apparently they're creating some sort of deal with them. I encourage you to check out what they're doing because it looks insane. But we're not going to focus too much on that because what I really want to talk about when it comes to Disney is Alien. The new Alien movie coming out. Yes, that Alien. And the new movie coming out has finally been confirmed to be the title that we've been calling it for a long time, Alien Romulus. And this looks kind of really cool because now we at least have confirmation that that is the title of this movie. And we are getting this movie. It is scheduled to be released August 16th, 2024. And this movie is produced by Ridley Scott, Michael Pearce. It is probably going to focus on all the things that we know. It's going to be a sequel to everything that we've seen before, hopefully. But it's not going to focus on the main characters from everything I've heard. That kind of worries me just a tad. But the premise of the movie says young people on a distant world find themselves confronting the most terrifying life form in the universe. Now, that right there is kind of a scary thing, but it doesn't tell us where this movie fits in, and I'm not sure I've heard a whole lot about that. I am excited for this movie. I think it's going to be really cool. I think this is going to be a fun movie to watch, and I'm curious to see what Disney does with this franchise going forward. Now, the idea that Disney owns Alien has always been a bit odd to me. Since they acquired this whole thing, it makes it seem as though this is going to be another franchise people are going to worry that Disney owns. However, this is going to continue to be the horror sci-fi movie that it always has been. And this sort of announcement that it is called Alien Romulus is the first news we've gotten in a very long time. I'm super excited to get that news as well. Now, if we can only get some sort of trailer for it. I haven't heard anything about this movie in a very long time. There was also talk of a TV series at one point, so I don't know if that's going forward or whatever. I mean, a whole bunch of things have been discussed in the past couple years, and we just have to wait and see. In other news, Evil Dead is apparently going to move on as a spin-off franchise. Now, that's kind of another thing that's a bit odd since we had Evil Dead Rise. And Evil Dead Rise didn't follow Ash, and yet we know that it takes place in the same universe, just, different things going on and different ideas being thrown our way, adding on to the lore of the franchise itself. And it kind of goes in tune with the fact that Evil Dead can really be anywhere. The Deadites can appear anywhere throughout time. The Book of the Dead can really be anywhere and be found by anyone. It's really cool in that way, and I find it awesome that this is going to happen. Now, apparently, the first Evil Dead spinoff will be directed by Sebastian Vanek. And this, too, is really exciting news to think about. Just the idea that we are getting a spinoff for this movie is something to look forward to. And apparently this is going to be the way of the future with this franchise, sort of sliding in and out of different eras, maybe in time, giving us different stories by different writers, kind of getting to explore the Deadites and the Book of the Dead and all the Evil Dead lore just in really different settings. I'm excited for this as well. I think this is really good news and could prove to be really awesome. Now, here's the only thing about that. It has to continue on and just add to the lore. If it's set in some alternative universe or something, or they start ignoring the canon that happened before, then I know a lot of fans are going to be disappointed, and rightly so. You can't go around just ignoring the lore, and that is also my concern with the Alien franchise going forward too. Would it ignore the lore and build on something new? Because I think that's the wrong thing to do. Now that being said, if they manage to add to it all and add to the lore and add to the entire franchise and still make it look really cool and epic, then that's something to be really excited for. Now, that brings us to our next topic, which is Texas Chainsaw Massacre has confirmed a new movie as well. Texas Chainsaw Massacre's new movie is called Texas Chainsaw Legacy. And yeah, I know it kind of sounds like Superman Legacy. I think that's just a coincidence, or maybe that is the wave going forward, that people are just going to start calling their movies Legacy. But this one has an interesting concept that doesn't really tell us if it's connected to the previous film or not. The synopsis for this film is, in a place called Oasis Oaks, a gated community, suddenly it becomes a fight for survival when Leatherface and his kin come knocking at their door. And, this is kind of crazy because now you have Leatherface and his kin back, which in a lot of installments, you always find that Leatherface is the main focus. I like it better when he really does have his family with him. The more of these psychos running around in the movie, the better. I mean, it's what made Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, so good. And even Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, and the sequels that dealt with his family and having to do with not just him, but an entire kin of these psychopaths, were always much more intriguing. I always found them to be a bit more adventurous, a bit more gory, a bit more out there to watch, and overall I found them to be really exciting. The threat level raises up when you don't just have to deal with one psycho, but an entire family of them. And I think that is something that made the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie such a hit. The fact that we had to deal with an entire family of basically Ed Geins, because Leatherface was based on the real life killer Ed Gein. And to have an entire family of Ed Geins running around murdering people is something that is really, really scary. So I feel like that adds to the intensity of this movie when they're talking about not just Leatherface stalking this gated community, but it is going to be his entire family as well. As always, we do want to know what you guys think, so make sure you're leaving us that comment in the comment box below. Make sure you're sharing this video with all of your friends that are going to want to be a part of the conversation. Hit that like button. It's free and it helps the channel. Miko says we need more subscribers. You don't want to disappoint Miko. Look at this face. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And then at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.